Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen Wassalatu wassalamu ala ashrafil anbiya'i wal mursaleen Sayyidina Muhammadin wa ala alihi wa sahbihi ajma'in. Alhamdulillah, my dear respected viewers, we begin our lesson today by praising Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for this opportunity for us to continue in the commentary of Aqeedah Sanusiyyah. And may Allah make this lesson a reason where our sins are forgiven, our prayers are answered, inshallah. And may Allah bless us with iman and taqwa, and bless us in husnul khatimah, and guide us in our Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam yawm al-qiyamah. Ameen ya Rabbil Alameen. In our last lesson, we have come into the end of speaking on the oneness of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and the rational proofs. But inshallah, before we continue with today's lesson, as usual, inshallah, we will do some revision, and this is a part that we will revise. And there is a question that was posted in the last week, which came after the class. Inshallah, I will answer that question. I do not want to answer certain questions in WhatsApp because certain things can be misunderstood. So it is better for me to explain in this manner. But before that, we will revise on the meaning of acquisition, kasab. So this is what the author mentioned. And after he quoted the poem, the power of the servant, and other than that are all creations of the all-powerful King, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Basically, he's saying that everything is created by Allah. Our creations, our actions, are created by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Yes, he possesses any acquisition, but he is by it he is legally responsible. And this is any insan. That insan, and he possesses acquisition. By it he is legally responsible, and by it he is mukallaf, due to the fact that he has a will which is given by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So basically he is tested by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And yet he possesses no independent efficacy. That is known. And he is not able to give any effect. Allah is the one who gives any effect. But what he has is this acquisition, which is the meaning of kasab. So let me explain the meaning of kasab again. Let me explain the meaning of kasab again before we answer any question. When we say al-kasab in Aqeedah, Ahlus Sunnah, we say al-kasab, we are speaking about the linkage between the power that is created by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in insan and the action of insan. So this link between the power that is created by Allah in insan, this linkage between the ability that is created by Allah in us and the action that is created by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and this connection where that created any ability and it becomes the means for that action, this is the meaning of kasab, which is what the author is speaking about. So he said acquisition kasab is a connection. Now, so basically what I explain is exactly what he's saying now. He said is the connection, and for those of you who have the book, underline the word connection. So I use the word linkage, connection, and it's about the same meaning. Is the connection of the contingent power. Type contingent power is the ability that Allah created in you, the strength that Allah created in you. For example, you want to lift, this cup. The strength is created by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in you. The strength, the ability, or the strength that you, or the power for you to lift this cup. For you to lift this cup. At the same time, Allah created the action of lifting this cup. So the connection between the contingent power and the action itself, this is the meaning of kasab. without there being an independent efficacy. So, meaning we are saying that it is not the contingent power that gives effect to the action of lifting the cup, but Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is the one who created the action of lifting the cup. So in the Quran, there are many verses in the Quran. Anyway, our lesson today will be short. I'm also not feeling well today. It's been 1 week. Make dua inshallah. Now I'm going back into what we are saying. There are verses in the Quran. For example, in the Quran, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentioned وَإِذْ رَمَيْتَ وَلَكِنَّ اللَّهَ رَمَى. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentioned in the Quran that it is not you who shoot Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, but it is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala who shoot. The Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam in the battlefield, when he in the battlefield, and when the Muslims when they fight the enemies in the battlefield, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is telling us that وَمَا رَمَيْتَ إِذْ رَمَيْتَ, that it is not who you who throw Muhammad, وَلَكِنَّ اللَّهَ رَمَى. But outwardly we see the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam is the one who throw, or the one who shoot, but that particular action is a creation of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So this is the connection here. The ability and the power which is created by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in insan, and the connection to the creation of that action with connection to this contingent power. This is the meaning of kasab. So it is not this contingent power that gives effect to the action, but it is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala who gives effect to the action. The contingent power is just an asbab. I hope by now, for those who are following, it is clear inshallah. In addition to this, he said there is no efficacy within the conventional customary means. So I believe last week I spoke about customary means, ahkamul aada. Ahkamul aada, as what we mentioned, it is based on experience and observation, and it can change. So for example, we see water quenches, fire burns. This is based on experience, based on observation, that we always observe that fire burns, that water quenches. So this is customary means, and we say fire burns. This part of hukmul adi, that is, it is based on experience and observation. So he said within the conventional customary means, an example, fire has no effect in combustion, water has no effect in quenching thirst, a wall has no effect in providing shade. Meaning these creations, they do not have any independent efficacy. That fire does not possess the ability to burn, or the power to burn. Within fire itself, fire do not have this power of combustion, or power of burning. But Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is the one who created combustion and burning. Likewise, it is not water that quench our thirst. Allah is the one who quench our thirst. So when we consume water is a means, asbab, that by it Allah quench our thirst. But it is not Allah is, we say that Allah is in need of water to quench our thirst. But it's a sunnah of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that Allah created this world full of means and asbab, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala commanded us to use the asbab. So there is a saying in Islam, we say al-akhdhu bil asbab wajibun wal i'timadu ala al-asbabi kufrun. To use the asbab is wajib, and in Islam, if a person, for example, if he doesn't drink any water, he will die. For example, now drinking water becomes wajib for him. Drinking water becomes wajib for him. But al-i'timad ala al-asbab, that if you depend on the asbab, meaning you believe that the asbab is the one that gives any efficacy, that gives any effect, then this is kufr to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So the Aqeedah of Sunnah wal Jama'ah, we say that customary means they do not, all the creations of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala does not give any effect. Only Allah gives effect. And this customary means any as just asbab. So likewise, any a wall has no effect in providing shade, a garment has no effect in covering, a knife any has no effect in cutting. Yani our clothes any that we wear. So we are not able any to see, for example, in the color any of our skin, due to the fact any that the existence any of this cloth. But actually it is not any the cloth any that covers you. It is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala any who covers you. This cloth any is just any a means. Likewise any the wall any gives you any shade, and for example, Allah is the one who created any the shade. It is not any the wall, but Allah any makes any the wall as a reason that shade any is in existence. A garment has no effect in covering, a knife has no effect in cutting. Like the story of Nabi Ibrahim alayhi salam, when he wants to cut any his son, the knife any that can cut, but suddenly any cannot function, because the action any of cutting belongs any to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. He is the one any who created any the act any of cutting, not any the knife. So the knife any is an asbab. And no other causes or contingent things have effect, for there is no doer but Allah. So for those any who have any the kitab, any underline this. For there is no doer but Allah. La fa'ila illallah. Yani there is no one any that can give any effect except any Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So now we will come back into there is a question any that was asked in the WhatsApp group last week. The question is asking, and this question is one any of the common any questions any actually. Question is asking any about the will any of insan. Yani we say that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gave any insan the choice to obey him any or not any to obey him. So when insan any makes any decision or choice any to obey Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the question is asking, is this any will a creation any of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? So this is basically the question. Type. Yani to answer any this question, first thing any we must understand that everything any is created by Allah. Everything any is created by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Yani your ability any to make choices any is given by Allah. And Allah is one who give you the ability to make a choice. Otherwise any you will not be able to make a choice. Everything is created by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Type, when it comes into insan, it is from the knowledge of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that Allah knew that a particular person yani will obey him. That he is going to create this particular person, and this particular person is going to obey Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And Allah brought him into existence, and Allah created in him abilities that by it he is able to obey Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So now when we say that he is a creation of Allah, his will is a creation of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, his ability is a creation of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, everything in is a creation of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. But if the question a person asks, does it mean that he is false? Does it mean that he is false? Does it mean that Allah created your ability, Allah created yani your will, Allah created your existence? Allah brought you into existence. Does it mean any that you are false? No. Yani Allah knew yani before he brought you into existence that you are going to believe. He created faith in you when he brought you into existence. Allah knew that you are going and need to pray, that you are going to make the decision and need to pray. This is from the knowledge of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So to understand any this thing, we have to differentiate between the attribute of al-ilm and the attribute of qudra and irada. So last time when we mentioned the attribute al-ilm, al-ilmu sifatun azaliyatun yankashifu biha jami'ul mawjudati wa ma'dumat. The knowledge any of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, attribute any of knowledge is kashf. It is not something that gives effect. But when it comes to the power is the one that gives any effect. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala knew before he created human beings, Allah knew that many human beings will not believe in him. That many human beings will not believe in him. Before he brought in human beings into existence. Does it mean the knowledge of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala when he knows that most people will not believe in him? Does it mean that he is forcing them not to believe? The answer is no. Knowledge of Allah It's not any the thing any that gives effect. Allah knew. Even any before things any exist. Before things any exist, it is within the knowledge any of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. But what is any the thing any that gives any the effect? The power of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Qudra. So when we go back any to the definitions any of sifatul ilm and sifatul qudra, then any this thing any will be clear. Sifatul ilm any sifatul kashf, sifatul qudra is sifatul ijad and i'dam. So Allah knew that you are going into belief before He created you. And when He brought you into existence, He created in you faith. So you are not forced, but you are rewarded for your decision to believe. And this is within the knowledge of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, where He knows your decision that you are making. So we say insan is mukallaf, and insan is not forced, but is given the choice. And Allah gave us the ability to make choices. And Allah already knew the choices before He brought you into existence. And He wills, based on His knowledge. So now, alhamdulillah, we have come to the end of speaking on the rational proofs of the oneness of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So we spoke about the oneness of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the oneness of His attributes. We spoke about the oneness of His action. So basically the author is speaking about the oneness of the action of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and then he goes into speaking about the acquisited power that is kasb. This is the definition within the Ahlul Sunnah wal Jama'ah. When we speak about the actions of insan, that in reality it is a creation of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and how we explain that insan is not false. So all this I hope it is clear inshallah. So today inshallah we will enter into this part where he said the rational proof that Allah is described with omnipotence. Omnipotence here meaning qudra, power, will and irada, knowledge, ilm, life, haya. So he said if any of these four qualitative and predicative attributes. So by now we understand in this term we have the qualitative and the sifat ma'ani, that is qudra, irada, ilm, haya. Predicative meaning kaunuhu qadiran, kaunuhu muridan, kaunuhu aliman, kaunuhu hayyan. If any of these four qualitative existence and power is involved, otherwise this cup cannot be in existence. So for example we ask who is the one who manufactured this cup? So we say so and so fulan bin fulan from existence. So it is impossible. So this is the rational proof to understand about the power of God, that this universe is in existence at a particular time, and this particular sun is at a particular place. This universe into existence must possess knowledge. So he must possess power, doesn't possess any life, because if he doesn't possess life, how can he possess the power and the knowledge and the will? Then he mentioned no contingent thing would exist because it is impossible. Because it is impossible. And if you negate any of these four things, four attributes, then nothing can exist. Nothing can exist. Why? Because it is impossible for there to be something dependent without something on which who is the one who specify the color of your skin? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. This is the meaning of specification, takhsis. Likewise, some people are tall, some people are short. Some people are strong, some people are weak, and so on and so forth. So all this is a result of specification. That Allah specifies in your existence, Allah specifies your color, your place and time, and that you exist, and so on and so forth. If knowledge was negated, all contingent things would be negated, because it is impossible to intend something unknown. The attributes are in existence. That God possess those attributes. Otherwise it will become impossible. So in power, some are made to be kafir. What is the view of Ahlul Sunnah wal Jama'ah? This is the same as what I mentioned earlier. The question is basically asking what I can understand from this question, that through Allah's will and power, there are some people who disbelieve in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So basically it's the same thing. Now, Now, for example, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He knew that there are people who will not believe in Him. Yani, before He created human beings, it is within the knowledge of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, within the knowledge of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, that there are people who will not believe. And this is mentioned in the Quran, for example. وَأَكْثَرُ النَّاسِ لَا يُؤْمِنُونَ. Allah said in the Quran is qadim. The Quran is pre-eternal. It's kalam of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And Allah mentioned that most people will not believe. Most people will not believe in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And the question now is, when we say that people do not believe in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, we say people do not believe in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, are they forced to disbelieve in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? Or they are not forced? So it is the same thing again and again, and we are saying Abu Lahab will not believe. Is Abu Lahab forced to disbelief? No. How can that be? Yani before Allah created Abu Lahab, Allah knew that Abu Lahab will not believe, and He created disbelief in Abu Lahab. So when Abu Lahab was in existence, he disbelieved in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Will he be punished for his disbelief? Yes. This is based on his choice, that he is the one who doesn't want to believe in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And Allah knew this before He brought Abu Lahab into existence. And Allah wills it to happen. Now this is the meaning of the will of Allah. He knew and He wills it to happen. And He created disbelief in Abu Lahab, so Abu Lahab disbelief. So at the end of the day, we are saying that Abu Lahab chose to disbelief. Abu Lahab chose to disbelief, and he is responsible for his disbelief, and he will be punished